Hold on, there's a plane or helicopter. We live in Los Angeles. So today's topic is going to be about setting up your own YouTube background, especially if you're on a budget. Okay. Hey, what's going on YouTube? So I thought I'd make a video explaining my little process on how I set up my mini YouTube setup. But first, before we dive into the more technical aspects of it, it's important to know why you're creating the content and what type of feeling and mood you're going for. For me, I'm a photographer, so I want to gear my content more towards people with similar interests, and I also have a love for collecting vintage cameras, and I thought, hey, what better spot to show off my stuff than on YouTube? So as you can see, I have cameras here, back there. Now diving into the more technical aspects of it, know your space. You need to know how far your camera is from your subject and your subject from your background. You got to know where you're gonna place your lights and how much space you have to work with. For me personally, I knew that I wanted the background to be a little bit out of focus, so as to not take away focus from the main subject, which is me, of course. So yeah, so keep in mind that the closer you are to the camera, the more out of focus your background will be. Also, the further back the background is, the more out of focus it will be. Given that I'm setting up in a smaller room, I decided to go with a wider lens. I went black, hold on. Given that I'm in a smaller room, I decided to go with a wider lens with about 2 to 3 feet of separation between me and the background. This has a lot to do with depth of field and lens compression, which are two topics that I hope to get into in the near future, so stay tuned for those. Alright, so now let's jump into colors and lighting. Light, depth of field, and lens compression, I will be doing videos on these as well, but here's a very brief explanation for the purpose of this video. For lighting, I decided to go with a 3-point light setup, in which case I have a key or main light, a fill light, and also a rim or backlight. For my key light, I decided to go with a nice big softbox, which provides beautiful diffused light. If you don't have a softbox, you could just use window lighting or natural light. It works just as well. Next, we have the fill light, which is used to fill in some of those shadows that may be caused by the key light. For me, I decided to just use a regular lamp that I had laying around. It just goes to show that you don't need expensive lights in order to achieve the 3-point light setup look. And lastly, we have the rim or hair light, which is a light that is usually set up opposite of the key light, and it creates this nice highlights on your hair and shoulders, and it's used mainly to separate yourself from the background. Next is colors. We're not gonna dive deeply into color theory today, but the colors you choose can greatly affect your scene. In color theory, there's this concept of complementary colors. Colors which are opposite each other on the color wheel tend to pair well with each other. Human skin tones are all variations on a narrow band on that spectrum between orange and yellow, so it tends to pair well with teal and blue colors. So that is why I try to incorporate those little blue aspects in my background. However, while setting up, I noticed that I didn't have any blue color gels or blue LED lights or any other blue sources of light, so I will be running down to like IKEA or somewhere to pick up some of those. So you will be seeing those in future videos, but ideally you want colors which complement each other. Well guys, that pretty much sums it up for now. Drop a like if you found this video informative or entertaining in any way, and consider subscribing. Let's grow together, learn together, and drop a comment if you have any suggestions on future videos or just to say what's up. And I'll catch you on the next video. Bye!